For a while, I thought that if I could do YouTube full-time, this would be a dream come true, and that was maybe sort of a goal that I had on the back burner. But I've realized that if I were to do YouTube full-time, I would have to make satisfactory content, meaning I would have to give people what they want. And I think you can kind of like go down a certain road and then feel like you're not allowed to leave that because the people supporting you want a certain thing. And that's not what I want. I want YouTube to be my creative outlet. I still have so much planned, so many ideas, so much to talk about with minimalism, simplicity, and spirituality, and all sorts of different things. I know my content's been kind of lacking lately because I've been really busy, but that's still what I want to do. That's still my passion. I still have a lot of thoughts and ideas for that. But I'm getting into consulting or becoming a life coach because I think that is a great way to provide income, where you have to have satisfactory content, right? You have to help your clients, help the people who are paying you. And so I can do that and help people hopefully make their lives more simple, and then have YouTube be a creative outlet on the side like it always has been. So kind of the best of both worlds. So in my process here, taking the course in becoming a consultant or a life coach, one step that we have to do is we have to pick our niche, right? Pick the people that we want to focus on and be really specific with who we're trying to help. And of course, what I can probably best provide is helping people minimize and become more simple living focused and all that kind of stuff. So I have to really figure out exactly how I'm going to help them and who I'm going to help. Because I can't just put myself out there to everyone and say, hey, anyone. Obviously, I'll take anyone who will, pay me to help them do that. But I think my focus would best be served for families. I feel like it's kind of easier if you're single to just get rid of a bunch of stuff and kind of move on, but it's harder when you're a parent and you have maybe a spouse who's a little bit resistant to it, or maybe a lot of bit resistant to it. You have kids who certainly don't see the joy of getting rid of their toys and donating that and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like that would be a really good focus for me, is families, and really kind of market myself to families and say, hey, if you're, especially probably moms, I just feel like moms are more the ones who tend to be at home and in charge of all the things, but obviously dads too. But if you're a parent, if you're a mom at home and you're trying to simplify your life because life just feels like chaos, let me help you. Let me show you the way, right? So that'd be kind of the message. And what we were learning in our consulting course is that you don't know what Sally wants. And what that means is, and this is such a cool visual, I really like it. It's that, okay, let's say Sally is sitting across the street from you at the bus stop, waiting for the bus in the morning. And you have to figure out what Sally wants to eat for lunch. What does she want? And you can think about it for a really long time. You can research it. You can ask people she knows. You can figure out what she ate yesterday and the day before that. And you can do so much work to try to figure out what Sally wants. But at the end of all that research and thinking, you still don't know what Sally wants. You still don't know. The only way to know is to go up to Sally and ask her and be like, hey, Sally, what do you want for lunch? So, and the point of this is that when it comes to figuring out your niche and your target kind of audience or client and what they want out of life, what their needs are, what they struggle with, you don't know until you ask them. You can't just sit around thinking about it. All right, so you need to read their blogs and read the top books and all that kind of stuff. But one really important way is to just simply ask. So now you, my audience, many of whom are probably minimalists to some degree, right? I'm reaching out to you and asking you, what do you want? Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to become anyone's, life coach here. You already get that from a YouTube, maybe. I don't know. But, so I made a little kind of survey, I guess, SurveyMonkey survey. And if you could click on the link in that, it's just like 5 questions and just like, what are your desires? What do you want out of life? Just so I can get an idea of what people who are striving towards minimalism struggle with or want. And also, leave in the comments anything that you struggle with in minimalism as well. You don't have to do the survey. The survey is helpful, but you can also put it down in the comments. One main thing I'm looking for is, What is your one thing that you feel like is holding you back? Is it that you don't have enough time? Is it that you don't know where to get started? Is it that your spouse isn't on board? What is it that you feel like if this one thing were just different, minimalism would be a breeze? Because that's obviously what I'm thinking about my niche being, right? Helping people simplify their lives. I've sort of started coming up with an approach that I think is going to be awesome, and I can't wait to share it with you guys and talk more about that. But today I just want to focus on what is it that you are like wanting to get out of minimalism, what's holding you back. So if you could take that survey, that's super helpful. If you just want to leave it in the comments, that's helpful as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, for joining me on this journey. Many great things to come. Love you. Bye.